Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now listening to the Shift Training Podcast,
where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health and just overall well-being.
All right, Coach Law, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about, wait a minute, what are we talking about, Vaughn?
New habits that will lead to success 2023.
Oh, all right, we're getting ready for the new year.
Let's get it.
Okay, all right, let's jump into these questions.
Okay, what question do we have?
So, first question is, what is one habit you want to build that will lead to progress and success for 2023?
Dang, amazing. Excellent question, Coach Law. Well, I can give like general answer. Most people, I think we all need to get better at the basics. For example, sleep, meditation, prayer, exercise, or nutrition. So we're gonna pick one right now. I think I would choose meditation or sleep. Let's choose sleep. So in order to get better on sleeping, we need to ask the 5 questions: the what, how, who, where, and where.
Wait,
when?
Why? When?
Why?
The W.
All right, let's start. The W and the H. Here we go. All right, so let's start with the why. I think the why is the most important part because that's where your motivation comes from. So, for instance, we use the sleep. Okay, you're gonna ask yourself, why do you want to get better at your sleep? Maybe the first answer is, oh, I don't want to feel sluggish the next day. Okay, ask again. Why don't you want to feel sluggish? Well, I want to be more productive. Ask the question again. We're going deep on that why. Then you're gonna ask that question: why do you want to be productive? Well, I wanna optimize my cognition, a better mood. You ask your question again until we get to the bottom. The fourth why might be, oh, I want to build a community that will support and encourage us people who has a dream. And then the why, the fifth why, usually is the one that we get us emotion, just like what's his name?
Dean Graciosi.
Graciosi. All right, so the fifth why could be, when I was growing up, no one believed in me. They gave up in my dream. There you go. After you ask those why, you could be on the 5th or 7th or however you want it. I just keep asking that question. The next question is the what. You got to be specific on this.
Can we go back to the why for a brief second?
Yes, go ahead.
So on the why, basically, I would just want to touch on that. So your initial why is not your core why. We want to ask till we get to the core why. So whenever you ask the question, why do I need to improve on my sleep? Why is it bedtime right now? We go straight to that core why. The emotional, compelling reason to take your butt to bed.
Right. Yeah.
All right, bet. I just want to make sure.
Like that, Coach Long.
All right, cool.
So the next question is the what. You got to be specific with what is it that you want to get better at. Maybe your what would be, I had to sleep at 8 or 9 p.m. You got to be very specific. Otherwise, if you just do it randomly, it won't create that habit. You will just sleep on the random times. And then where are you going to sleep? Obviously on the bed, And
Hopefully.
And you can't bring any could be your phone, because most people, they always bring their phone and then they keep their brain stimulated the whole entire time. Don't bring any food in there. Just all you need to do, the purpose of your bed is to sleep. And then the other question is who, you need to surround yourself with people that are like going to help you with your goal. You don't want to be with people that are like going to invite you to party at 12 a.m. or 6 a.m. You know what I mean?
No sleep for you.
Yeah, exactly. So on that question, I would ask myself those 5 questions and the how.
Cool. And how? What's the how for you?
The how is how. So I think it will be the same with the what. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna write down on my journal what time. I need to have clarity with my specific goal. And
so be in bed by this time. Move the phone far away.
Maybe put it in your kitchen or
somewhere else, completely not there. No form of anything keeping you up. No light stimulation. Darkness. Super dark.
It's dark.
And
caveman.
Yeah, cool.
Days.
Like basically like you're going into a cave.
Yeah.
You're gonna go hibernate in your cave, and when it's time to wake up, are you doing this with blackout curtains, like curtains, everything's closed, or do you leave them open so you can rise with the sun? How are you doing it?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so now give me an idea, because I have this sleeping mask where I put it on my eyes. So in the morning, I don't see the sun because the light is the one that wakes me up. So I just allow myself to wake up naturally.
So when body says I'm done recharging, and then you go, time to energize.
Boom.
Okay, yeah. By the way, guys, sleep is essential. Pro tip, get light. Don't stay in the darkness when you first wake up and wonder why you're sluggish. Within that first 10 or 15 minutes of waking up, all the great studies and all the scientists and doctors and researchers and people who are on top of this stuff in the game right now, they all advise get some direct sunlight, get some light within 10 or 15 minutes of waking up. Step outside for a little bit, blink those eyes, look around, get dialed in, because that helps set your circadian rhythm to the light. So, cool.
Nice.
Should we do the next question?
Let's hit it. What's the next question, Coach?
All right. What is the bad habit you want to break in 2023?
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to answer this again in general. I think the most common bad habit that most people do is watching Netflix, being on your phone before going to bed. I think drinking and smoking are also a bad habit that most people do. I think there's three things that we need to talk about in order to break a bad habit. I think number one is self-awareness. I think it's always crucial to have self-awareness. If you don't have self-awareness, then how are you going to rectify that bad behavior? Like, for instance, for sleeping, as we talked about earlier, I think you must acknowledge that you are not sleeping enough, and then you're being sluggish the next day. Then what are you going to do about it, right?
And I think there's also, and part of that self-awareness is really understanding why. So not just what you're doing or how you're doing it, but why you're doing it. So for example, if you're constantly seeking stimulation because you can't be with your own thoughts for a set duration of time, maybe the key to getting better at that habit or breaking that bad habit is perhaps meditating, getting comfortable or familiar with spending time with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And that might enable you to release your grip on I need constant stimulation. I need constant dopamine to be able to exist in life.
Yeah.
You want to be able to work on that. So sometimes it's understanding, self-awareness is also understanding why you are, what does that habit do for you? We call it a bad habit, but you won't deem it a bad habit unless it starts to interfere with something or it's stopping you, or, in some capacity for whatever reason, it's bad. But if you don't believe it's bad, you won't do anything about it, right? So you need to understand maybe why and what is the value and what you get from replacing that habit.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. When you are trying to break a habit, you're not really breaking a bad habit, you are replacing it to something. So going back to, maybe your bad habit, quote unquote, is bringing your phone into your bed, and this keeps you up at night. Maybe you can replace that habit to maybe reading books or meditation or prayer.
That's that sweet sleep.
Exactly. And I think another thing that we can think about is knowing the benefits. What would be the benefit of me sleeping early? And list them out.
Yeah. And I think part of it is that you won't really know till you try.
Right.
When you have that experience, it's different from being able to cognitively process it. But when you viscerally go, whoa, I did this, and today I feel like instead of $10, I feel like $100 million, so you won't know until you try.
Right. Exactly. Cool. I think, self-awareness, know the benefits, and don't, it's not a bad habit. You just have to replace it. Think of it as a replacement. So
would the better question be, what is a habit you want to replace in 2023?
That's right. Ooh, I like that. Let's go.
All right. So that's the question for you guys. Next question is, what is something I can develop? What's something I can do to develop an amazing morning and night routine?
Ooh. Okay. I think those two are the most important time. I think the morning and night. And if you are someone who watches news, violent in the morning. So what's happening is you're setting yourself up to like a bad start instead of, maybe you can replace it to something that is a question of what are you grateful for?
Right.
This will set up a calm, relaxed, this equanimity state, serene state that you'll be in the morning. And if you start with that, then it carries out throughout the day.
Yeah, I think that it's essentially it's how do you want to start your day and how do you want to finish your day?
Right.
How do you want to start your day? How do you want to finish your day? Whether it's morning or night for those who work overnights, don't want to shun you guys out, but how do you want to start and how do you want to finish your day? Do you want to start your day in a reactive state, reacting to everything and everyone going on and giving away your energy from the start? Filling your mind with negativity, or perhaps maybe that's not the best way to start the day. Maybe you want to start your day filling your own cup. So that way you start with a positive balance of energy before you start responding to everyone and handing it out.
Yeah, and I think that the night as well, it's important to set your night before, you know what I mean? Like, it is important to like know what you're gonna do the next day. So your night routine should be, having clarity. So that way you'll be prepared for tomorrow's challenges.
So you can start your day with intentionality
Yeah,
versus being reactive.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's essential. So I think something that helps to develop that is kind of back to the previous question. Pick one habit that kind of interferes with that or doesn't support that and replace it with something that would. Right? So let's say instead of, I'm going to pull out my phone and check my emails or do anything on your phone before you go to bed, how about you, I don't know, maybe write out your intention for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or review your schedule for tomorrow. Now, this is where you have to be careful. If it's a whole bunch of, well, I have to do, that's not going to help you end your day well. You're going to go to bed. You're going to be stressed. But it's kind of more of a reflection. Perhaps it's in the day with gratitude.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this today, and tomorrow I will try to include this other form of appreciation or this other thing that fills my cup into the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's your intention.
Yeah.
No to-do list. Just what is my intention for the day?
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I'm going to crush the day tomorrow, and I can't wait. Today I won, I'm going to sleep. Whatever it may be. But consider that you're going to take the thing that might interfere with your ability to start or end your day well and replace it with something that does support it.
Yeah, I think another thing that I can add to that is what I've learned from the 20-hour book. So if you are someone who is starting a new habit, then it's good to review it before you go to sleep. So for instance, if you're learning guitar, maybe spend like 5-10 minutes or read something from the book. It's better it consolidates the information better when you go to bed. Yeah. Sometimes you might dream about it. That happens to me not often, but it's rare. But it's crazy. When I dream about it, I feel this feeling that as if like I'm actually doing it.
Practicing it.
Like doing the flips. I dream about
triple fulls, triple quarts.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I dream, I was like, wow, that felt so real. And then I tried it at jam. I was able to do it. Not like 10 gainer switches. When I dream about it, I was like 10 flips. But I was able to do like 2 or 3. I was like, whoa.
You can feel it.
Felt it, yeah.
Awesome. So next question is, what is something you need to invest in yourself to progress in your life?
Ooh. I think I would answer this in a way of investing. Don't waste your time and your money on something that's irrelevant or unnecessary. I think a great investment is as we are talking about it, building a good habit at the same time with the money. You don't want to be frugal about it. If you're so cheap about yourself that you don't even buy like books or like you're not hiring any mentor or coaches. And as we all know, if you hire somebody that's ahead of you, then you will level up, you'll progress much faster instead of just being cheap and not like reading books or whatever it is.
Right. And I think that it's important to think about One, in terms of investment, not just financial investment, but we talk on that too.
Like time.
Any investment of any kind. So like on Jay Shady's podcast, the question he asked was about similar. It was about an investment, something you spent money on, or that was worth it to you. And I think that's the key thing is like you need to reflect upon something that you invested in that was valuable to you and served you in some type of way. He mentioned his tablet and how basically that enabled him to view things on a larger screen and not be bound to the desk all the time while he has to do work. So he could, have more options, and that was very valuable to him.
Right.
And I think that when you make an investment of any kind, what is the investment that maybe in this past year you have made that really was valuable to you? And then think about that going forward next year. It's like, okay, these were really valuable to me. Why? Well, doing this helped me enhance my connections with other people, or doing this made my workflow easier, or whatever it may be, because then you might want to prioritize that or think about that next year for what types of investments you want to make versus waiting until the moment you feel the need to think about making an investment. You can just go ahead and start planning out where you want to invest so you can just receive the benefits before you come into tension. And that's a big thing. Don't wait until you run into conflict or tension to start creating what you want. You can create what you want before you even have that. So you can just skate right by.
I see.
It won't even come up because you already gave it some forethought. You have some clarity about it. You reflected. And don't get me wrong, stuff will come up. But stuff that you've already addressed, you already know. Why would you wait until there's conflict again?
It's like my laptop is dying.
Laptop needs to get replaced.
I have it for 10 years and
it's dying. He needs a new one. But he wants the MacBook. Sold on the MacBook.
But anyways, I think another thing that I thought about investing is also investing in your own time. Maybe, in the morning, you need to invest maybe for yourself instead of like being reactive. Invest in yourself, because as Jay, like you said, you wouldn't miss a meeting from your boss or your manager, but you always miss. But if you are someone who missed a meeting for your own self, maybe then that's something that you want to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for myself, investment in myself, that's a great question. I think ultimately I just continue to invest in my health. I'm going to continue to invest in my health probably till my last day on this planet, because I know that it is essential for being able to do everything else that I value.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of the best investments that I can make. There are other investments that I like to make, and they're not really investments, but are they investments? I don't know. I like guitars. I like nice stuff. Anything I like that's like shiny or nice, it brings me a certain level of joy that makes me feel like, why not? It makes life more interesting. Yeah. Those types of experiences are usually a worthwhile investment.
The superficial ones. Don't forget.
Yeah, sometimes.
If you deserve it, then yes.
Yeah, sometimes. Now that I really be like, that stuff is the way, because really, I enjoy making investments in like relationships and connections with people, right? But sometimes it's remember, investment in yourself. So if I'm saying this is just for me and I'm going to enjoy this, and this is going to elevate my experience of life for me, as far as I'm concerned, being able to spend time with something that I enjoy, whether it's a person or an instrument or whatever, lets me, basically what I'm investing is the ability to focus and train hard at something, to learn and grow at something that I find interesting and pleasing in many, many areas. That's the investment in the guitar. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's challenging. Musically, it can be pleasing, but working towards getting it to be pleasing in itself is the journey that is valuable or pleasing to me. And that's what makes it a worthwhile investment. Knowing that there's a certain level of craftsmanship going into that, all that stuff, I find it extremely satisfying. So for me, that's a worthwhile investment. So you need to understand when you make your investments, why does it matter to you? And then as you go through the year, plan for some of those things so you have your life full of stuff that you value.
Nice. I like that answer. I think now you shared some of your personal investment for yourself. I think for me, I would like to invest more on public speaking, such as going to Toastmaster. It's a club where everyone is trying to learn how to get better at public speaking. For me, I think that will benefit me a lot, because I think that I do a lot of coaching and if I want to inspire other people, I want to be great at conveying these messages to others, and I think that would be a great investment for me.
Guys, let's support his investment by summoning Vaughn to do a talk somewhere. Let us know. And
Not
we can
ready
go
yet,
ahead.
Law.
No, he's totally ready. Let's throw him in the water, guys. So he'll be fine. He'll get that practice. He'll be able to invest in himself. So I believe in Vaughn, so I invest in Vaughn. So I think you guys should invest in Vaughn too. Great investment.
That's it.
So last question, and
Well,
it's about overcoming failure. So
yeah,
I guess it's like what's one way or one approach, or how might you overcome challenges or fear of failure?
Yeah, so I think failure, I think we need to expect it. Now, remember that I didn't say hope for failure or ask or want for failure, because failure is inevitable, right? Like, it will happen. You will look like a fool if you are trying to do something new, an activity or whatever it is. And look at Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb. He mentioned that he did not fail 9,999. He only find 9,999 ways on how not to do it.
Right.
Right. And I think you also need to know that.
Camera said it was done, but we're going to continue.
All right.
We're talking about overcoming failure. So again, it's about facing failure. How do we deal with that? How are we going to better navigate failure in 2023?
Yes. As before we get cut off, I was talking about how we have to expect failure.
Not hope for it, not wish for it, not seek it, not desire it, not ask for it. Yeah. But just expect it.
And it is something that's inevitable. It will happen if you are trying something new, a new activity. You will look silly. You will look like a fool, but that's okay. But if you keep going, you'll get better. Trust me. And know that, just like the sun, it will rise up again the next day. And same with you. If you fail today, you will try it again.
Yeah, this too shall pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the key to doing that is reframing it. I don't know, like Gary Vee says, it's okay to be like, you failed at something. You don't have to avoid it. And I don't feel any need to avoid it, but I do think about each step being a lesson. Even if I lose, if I lose 20 times, I'm not stopping until I get at least that dub. Again, I'm going to get that dub. There's going to be at least one win. And I'm going to make it count for all those losses. So it's the sweet taste of victory. I think that is kind of one of the things that motivates me is knowing that it is possible to continue to move forward, to get better, to grow, to learn. And I think that sometimes when we have those lessons, it's what do you do with it? Do you sit on the lesson? Do you have a pity party? Do you give up? Do you quit? Because I think the only real failure in life is when you quit.
Right, 100% agree on that. And just like Michael Jordan said, those failures that he had experienced, I think he just used it just to fuel him to get better and use those failure as an improvement. I think another key point is we tend to focus on the negative part, or all the failures, that we overshadow the positive that we've done. Like, for instance, maybe you're new in an activity. I think that's already a win. When you went to the class, that is something that is courageous, audacious, that you've done already. It's a win. But if we focus on the negative, it amplifies it, and we feel as if like we did not progress. But no, we did. We stepped out of our comfort zone.
Can I touch on that real
Yes.
quick? So I think what you just said, taking note of the positive and progress are the parts that I think are key. Is focusing on the progress that was made, because that is a positive. We see progress as addition, right? Progress in itself is positive to us.
Yeah.
Focus on the progress, because like you said, come in your first day of a class, you've never done this before, stepping outside your comfort zone, right? And here you are, and you're like, oh man, but I sucked. I didn't crush it in class. And it's like, it's your first few classes. Like, it takes time to get good at things. And I think that's something we should never forget. If you make progress, take away something from it. Just take one thing and you win.
Yeah, exactly. And have compassion for yourself. You know, don't beat yourself up. I mean, if that helps you a little bit, beating yourself up, you know, negative talk, but
remember the 80-20 though.
the
like
80-20.
Tom Bill you like 80-20.
80-20, but
20% dark side. Don't
exactly,
go 80% dark side.
Exactly. It will corrode you,
Yes.
as he said. So, yeah, I think, is there anything else? Coach
No,
Long?
I think that is it for
That's it?
today.
All
Guys, really quickly, I just want to say thank you for following our podcast and listening to our episodes this year. We're getting near the end of the year, which is why we're doing this, you know, give you some questions to think about and consider before you go into 2023. We have emotional wellness classes coming up at the start of the year. A lot of new great stuff, but we just want to take a moment to say thank you. We appreciate you for listening, for chiming in, for giving us your feedback, for sending us questions. Big thanks from myself and Bon.
Sweet. Where can they follow us, Coach Law?
At Shift Own Your Life on all the normal socials, Shift Training on YouTube, and of course, if you're listening to the podcast, you found it via your favorite podcast platform. So please subscribe, continue to follow, rate, review if they let you do that, and share with a friend. Guys, we need to spread this type of information, these questions. We need to present a different way of thinking and processing life to many other people. Why? Because the goal is to positively impact the quality of human interaction. And the way that is going, we're not doing a good job at it. So in order for us to do better, we have to start thinking, moving differently. So please share with a friend. Please practice what seems to be good for you. And if it's not good for you, throw it away. But what works for you, do it. Okay?
That's right. Whatever resonates with you.
100%. Thank you guys again. We appreciate you. And we hope that you have a fantastic day. Peace.